Hello and welcome to Donington Park for the 8th and final round of the 2012 GT Cup Championship. After a gruelling season of 23 action-packed sprint races, today is Judgment Day, where we find out who will be crowned the 2012 GT Cup champion.
We're back where it all started, Donington Park, for the final round of the 2012 GT Cup Championship. Fortunately, the weather less inclement, but the grid equally competitive, with Jordan Witt in pole position. Matt Selden, the first of the Group 2 runners, a very strong 5th, and Colin Broster heading up the Group 3 challengers in 7th as they get ready for the penultimate race, what has been a very competitive 2012 season. Now, the men to watch for in terms of the challenge, the championship, Derek Johnson there, he is second on the grid in the black and green Group 1 Ferrari, and then in Group 3 Chris Bentley in his Porsche could also claim the title of Donington Park this weekend. There he is towards the back of the field as a rolling start as ever. The lights go out and away we go here at Donington Park with Jordan Witt in the chevron holding the inside line as they sprint towards Redgate for the first time, but swooping around the outside is Derek Johnson. He takes the lead of the race. Witt into second, Kevin Riley then in third, with Lee Mole in fourth, in with Matt Selden, the foremost of the Group 2 runners. And what a start from Selden around the outside of Lee Mole, down through the crane of curves. He attempts to do the same thing as Kevin Riley, can't quite do it. This is a solid start from Selden in the blue BMW. There he is, ahead of his principal Group 2 challenger, Don Grice. The second of the BMWs, that is the gold machine. Then he's got the yellow Porsche of Colin Broster, who leads Group 3. Hot on his heels as climbing through McLean's, then Derek Johnson leading the Ferrari, and Johnson aware that Jordan Witt, the chevron, very agile, nimble car, wants to get as much of an advantage in these stages as he can. We ride once more in car Matt Selden through Coppice, and he closes onto the tail of Riley in the Mosler. Great to see Matt back in the GT Cup Championship, a former race winner in the championship. Onto the brakes, into Fox Yeses, and Jordan Witt beginning to harry Derek Johnson. And this has been the story so often during the 2012 season, that Johnson has leapt into the early advantage, and then Jordan Witt in the chevron has just steadily eroded that and picked his way into the lead. But Johnson will want to hold on, claim victory, because that really would give him probably 1.5 hands on the 2012 crown. But for now, he's got his hands very full with Jordan Witt in the chevron up on his tail. Over the line they come, completing the lap, and Johnson is about 3 or so car lengths clear of Jordan Witt, and that should be enough for him. Then we've got that big gap back to Kevin Riley and Matt Selden disputing third positions. Out of Redgate go the two leaders through Hollywood and then down the crane of curves. Such an exciting sequence of corners. It's one that really plays in the hands of both of these cars. The Ferrari has always been renowned for very balanced handling, and the chevron is just so nimble and agile. And this, of course, the beauty of the GT Cup Championship, multi-mark GT racing. There is Chris Bentley, the other man who could well claim the title this weekend, but he's got a fair bit of work to do at the moment in Group 3. He is somewhere adrift of Colin Broster, the Group 3 leader. So Bentley just got to get his head down and keep pressing on as he chases down David Witt. Meanwhile, Jordan Witt, David's son, has got a superb run here on Derek Johnson to lead the race as they come onto the back straight, and Witt looks the inside line as they hit the brakes into Fog Yeses, and Jordan Witt's going to go through. That's really brave driving from Jordan Witt, very, very late on the brakes, and he dives to the inside of the Ferrari of Derek Johnson. Now, what has Johnson got in his back pocket here to fight back against him? Well, he closes onto his tail around the Melbourne hairpin, and the pair of them sprint over the crest and into the left-hand hairpin at Goddard's. Down through the gears they both work, but Derek Johnson, he's not quite close enough to Jordan Witt, although Witt is a little bit wide, maybe just missing the apex. Colin Broster is latching himself onto the tail here of Lee Mole. Great to see Lee in the Ginetta GT3 this weekend, making its debut in the GT Cup Championship. Spectacular and very aggressive looking car. We're talking of spectacular cars, there's Kevin Riley in the Mosler, still withstanding the challenger Matt Selden, although Selden is giving as good as he's got at the moment and is homing in onto the tail of that Mosler as they sweep down through the crane of curves. Selden trying to close up onto Kevin Riley, but of course the Mosler, it's got such punch in a straight line, and whilst the BMW is nimble through the corners, Riley normally able to pull away on the straights, and that is what's proving to happen these early stages of the race. Although Matt Selden just seems to be consulting the gearbox there. I wonder if he's got a problem. He's looking down into the cockpit, and we could have a real problem here for Matt Selden as the BMW slows and he wiggles around, and that's such a shame. So Selden encounters trouble in the BMW. That is going to promote Don Grice potentially up into the lead of Group 2, as Derek Johnson is still keeping the race leader, Jordan Witt, very honest. And here we're about to see that switch for Group 2 as Don Grice powers through past Matt Selden, who's got the indicator flashing, and unfortunately it would seem as if Selden's BMW is not going to be going much further in this one. He's going to attempt to limp round to the pits. It promotes Kevin Riley then. It doesn't promote Riley, but it does give him a fairly comfortable advantage here in third position, with then Lee Mole and Don Grice a little bit further back. And Mole looking to make the move on Don Grice. This is for fourth position, and Lee Mole's got the inside line for the hairpin at Goddard's, and through he goes. He takes the place in the Ginetta with a celebratory lick of flame as well on the downshift. They power out of Goddard's, and Don Grice tries to draw alongside him, but Lee Mole able to get his nose ahead and move clear. It'd be great to see Lee back in that car in the championship in 2013, because the car, as it begins to develop, I think will be very, very competitive. Don Grice as well, that BMW, very special car, really a bespoke car that Don has lavished a lot of care and attention on over the years. It's being very finely rewarded here at Donington Park this weekend, with advisor Matt Selden, who is still en route back to the pits. That is going to give Don Grice a fairly comfortable advantage in the group for the time being. Whether or not he'll convert that to a group victory remains to be seen, as Lee Mole has now closed right up onto the tail of Kevin Riley in the Moser, and Mole has driven a very smart race here, because he really has just bade his time, waited for the car to come to him, waited for those tyres to get up to temperature. It's very chilly here at Donington Park, and now those Pirellis are working as they should. It means that he's able to pressurise Kevin Riley as we move into the latter stage of the race. Now, are we going to see a late race switch here for the final spot on the overall race podium, and indeed the Group 1 podium? The pair of them then accelerate out of Goddard's almost nose to tail on towards Redgate Corner. Riley in the Moser, who started this season here at Donington Park in atrocious conditions with a spectacular spin at the old hairpin. Well, it's much more steady this weekend from Kevin, who has been a very strong supporter of the championship this season. Colin Broster, meanwhile, looking well set for another Group 3 victory. And Colin, he's been in superb form throughout the course of the 2012 season as he climbs through Coppice onto the back straight. Here is the Group 2 leader, Don Grice. Grice hitting the brakes, looks ahead of him around the left-hand hairpin at Goddard's. He heads into another lap as, coming to the latter stages of the race, just the Grand Prix loop to go, is the race leader, Jordan Witt, who late in the race here has been able to just move clear of Derek Johnson in second position. Johnson, though, is going to score a very solid points haul that is going to take him to the cusp of the 2012 title, because really Chris Bentley needed Johnson to encounter trouble. But for Jordan Witt, it's going to be another victory in the GT Cup Championship in 2012. He accelerates out of Goddard's for the final time. The checkered flag is ready, awaiting its victory at Donington Park for Jordan Witt. He flashes his lights in celebration, gets a round of applause from the entire pit wall, and opens the door to receive the acclaim of the marshals and spectators as he heads around to the podium. Derek Johnson then through in second position, and that is very, very good news for Johnson in terms of his challenge for the title. So let's take a look at the final results, with victory for Jordan Witt from Derek Johnson. Kevin Riley did see off the challenge of Lee Mole. Don Grice claimed Group 2 honours, and Colin Broster victorious in Group 3 from Chris Bentley. So in terms of the group results, well, Group 1, the top three in the race overall, Jordan Witt from Derek Johnson and Kevin Riley. Group 2, Don Grice seeing off David Witt. And in Group 3, it was Colin Broster from Chris Bentley and David Barker completing what is going to be, as ever in the GT Cup Championship, a very busy podium here at Donington Park. All smiles as the drivers celebrate on the rostrum. Of course, still one more race to go.
Yeah, it was really good. Derek pushed really hard at the start. Obviously, he went past me. Took me a few laps to get heat in the tyres, and then I just sort of drove off from there.
Did it look like quite a fun battle between the two of you?
Yeah, it was. It's good fun. We always keep it nice and clean between ourselves because neither of us wants to be fired off. So good, clean fun. Well, the only problem is that we had a poor start to the season. First 5 rounds, I don't think I finished a race. So, I'm just finishing strong now and hopefully coming back next year to push for a championship win.
It was very, very good. It was a shame for Matt Selden, who had a problem. We'd have had a great battle had he managed to keep going, but I obviously enjoyed the race. Butler Motorsport have done a fantastic job with the car. It really is fantastic. So I'm really pleased.
One more race to come in the 2012 GT Cup Championship. Join us in a few minutes for all the action.